Hello everyone, Tina here. I hope you're having a fabulous day. Thanks for joining me. Well, today we're going to create 3 cards with my monthly hero kit for May 2020. This month's kit's still available and I'll leave the link down below if you guys are interested. But this is it and it is super neat. We're going to take a look at everything that's in the kit and then we're going to create some projects with it. Okay, we get some dies. We get 7 frame cuts, 7 art icon fancy dies, and then we get our 6x8 stamp set. That was so pretty. I had it upside down, but the backing that everything comes in is just so pretty. This is your stamp set, and I'm going to keep the backing so you can see what it looks like. But this is great. While I separate the dies, I'll tell a little bit about the stamp set. But there's a lot of whimsical images in here, and it's great for card making, but it's also great for decorating the front or the back of your envelopes when you mail your cards. I have a stamp that will stamp the back of my cards, but I don't have really any stamps that will stamp my envelopes, and I thought this was just perfect for it. There's sentiments in here that say Happy Mail, to and from. It would make great tags too for many occasions. These dies here that I'm showing you, the hot air balloon, the rainbow with the cloud, and then the little paper airplane, there's 2 of those actually. Those are the art icon fancy dies. So they don't have images to go with them. The airplane is one of them also. Now there is 2 flowers in the stamp set. Only 1 flower has a coordinating die, but there's a larger airplane that has a banner that you can attach to it. The die itself will just cut out the airplane. There's when you stamp it, it stamps out the string too, but when you die cut it, the string's not there. So there's versatility when you do your stamping with that. But you get the little snail die that will cut that out. You get the smaller rainbow. And when I first saw the smaller rainbow, I thought, my goodness, there's little accent pieces right next to the rainbow. I thought those were going to die cut out separately, but it doesn't. It's all one piece. Thank it is, because those are pretty little itty bitties. But that entire smaller rainbow cuts out. And I put the banner as a fancy die, but it actually is an image you can die cut out for the larger airplane there. You get a super fancy little cloud. It has little swirlies in it. And then I think as far as the I thought there's a little hello sentiment. When you die cut it out, I showed you here with the white cardstock, that cuts out a banner with the hello in it, and I thought maybe the banner that goes with the airplane, it would fit in there, but it doesn't. It's on its own, but it's still awful cute. You also get a sunshine there. So a sunshine, a snail, the large airplane, the rainbow, 1 of the flowers, and then the banner, or what die cut out in the stamp set. And then these 7 here are your extra little pieces. There's even a little snail that's super cute. I'm actually, let's die cut out the hot air balloon and everything so you can actually see what it looks like. It's kind of hard. I die cut out everything but the airplanes. There's pretty small pieces, but you can see the decorative detail. They're actually cut lines that create the detail in the hot air balloon and in the cloud there. But I think it's super whimsical and super fun. And then you can see the snail is in 3 different pieces. The snail you could die cut out and use the positive or the negative. So just like the little hello banner. So those are your dies this month, 14 in total. And then now we're going to take a look at some of the Caron Deco Brush markers. These are super neat. These are metallic markers. They are water-based. So if you spread them out and use your water brush or a paintbrush and water, the color will blend out beautifully. Now, since these are metallic, I know that if you spread out that color with your water brush, you'll lose the intensity of the metallic that's in there. You can see when you tilt it, you can really see that shine. When you add water, it dilutes it and it's not as shiny, basically. So you just shake them up really well and you can use them for watercoloring, which is super neat. Also in the kit are 2 sets of envelopes. You get 5 A2 envelopes, and I have to tell you, they are beautiful quality. Oh my goodness. They're the lick and stick, which you probably don't want to do nowadays. Use a sponge, guys. And then you also get the A7 envelopes. You get 5 of those also. So this is the My Monthly Hero Kit for May 2020, and like I said, surprisingly it's still available. I'll link the kit down below if you guys want to check it out. Okay, let's do some stamping. We're going to stamp everything all at once. We're going to make 3 projects, and I wasn't sure where I was going to go with them, so we're just going to stamp lots of images. There's the rainbow, and you can see the little accent pieces I was talking about. When you die cut it out, it all die cuts out in one piece, which is great. You get a little happy little sunshine. In the stamp set you get 2. One doesn't have a face in it, and then you get the smaller one. The smaller one has a coordinating die, so that's why I'm going to stamp that. I stamped the banner on that attaches to the airplane. Now the banner says, "Please deliver to ... I'm going to go ahead and stamp both the hearts in the stamp set. And then I was going to stamp both the flowers, but I'm a fussy cut girl, but I didn't want to do any extra fussy cutting. So we're just going to stamp one flower. We're going to stamp it lots of times though. We ended up stamping it 5 times, 6 times. So we stamp that, and then we'll grab our airplane. And again, when you stamp the airplane, you have the string of the airplane on there. When you die cut it out, the string goes away. You'll see in a little bit what I'm talking about there. I'm also going to stamp the little snail in there, which is really cute. It actually has a snail mail printed on the shell of the snail. And I think I'm a poet, didn't know it. But we're going to stamp that a couple times. And then I'm going to grab another piece of cardstock. In the stamp set there's a larger rainbow with some clouds. It doesn't have a coordinating die, but I want to stamp this. I'm going to stamp this. For this, for my first one, I could have brought in the MISTI and stamped all at once. That's what I probably should have did. But we're going to do that for our larger images. We'll take the large sunshine, add that, and then we'll take the large sentiment that says, "You make today better." Stamp those all with Memento Tuxedo Black ink. And since I have some open areas, we might as well fill them in with a couple flowers and a couple snails. We're just cleaning our stamps off as we go. And then we're going to stamp our flower a couple extra times. Now, I didn't leave the coloring in, guys. I did stamp or color in off camera to save a little bit of time. And then, but I basically just used 2 markers for each one of my images. If you want, I'll list the colors over on my blog to know the colors that I used. But pretty basic coloring, really. Nothing fancy. But I stamped a couple extra flowers in my little snail that says snail mail. And they are ready to be colored in. So we'll grab both panels. Now I did end up stamping and coloring in one more of the largest rainbow with the 2 clouds. I thought we'd use 2 of those. I loved the way it looked, so I thought we'll stamp it and color in another one. So here's our images. We're going to go ahead and take the coordinating dies and die cut out our rainbow, the sunshine, the banner, our airplane, the hearts. I kind of went crazy stamping and coloring them in, and I only ended up using actually 2 of those. I ended up coloring in another teal colored one, but sure looks pretty on the page. But no worries with hearts. I'm going to go ahead and tape everything down and die cut everything out, and then what I can't die cut out, I'm going to fussy cut out. And basically the only thing that is the sentiment that says "You make today better," and then the 2 larger rainbows, and then the large sunshine I fussy cut out. Okay, we'll kind of pile these together and create a little scene here. I want the clouds. I die cut out 5 of them. That was the little fancy tiny cloud. I just use white cardstock with those. For card number 1, we're going to create a frame using 2 double stitched rectangle dies, just layering them both together. And then I'm going to bring in some pattern paper. I thought the colors would look really good with a wood grain pattern paper, so I'm just bringing out a 6x6 paper pad that I've had in my stash for a while, and we are going to use a small rectangle die that's 1 size smaller than what's in my frame here. So when I die cut it out, I'm actually going to mat this wood grain on the inside of my white frame, giving me a little bit of a border. So we have 2 frames. It's going to basically look like this. I like the way that looks, kind of like picture frames. I think that looks really nice. I'm going to go ahead and add adhesive. Now I was going to go ahead and tack that down, but I thought we'll add our sunshine first. I wasn't sure about the placement, and I did want the string that was on the airplane. So I'm just kind of lining it up, and then I'm going to end up bringing in a pencil, and then we're going to actually tack down our wood grain to our white frame. I popped it up with foam adhesive. We're removing the release paper. We're going to grab our wood grain, which I already added adhesive to, so I have to be real careful. We're going to make this centered, tack that down behind our frame here, and it's actually holding it with my foam adhesive. So that's ready to go. I'm not going to press down on it just yet because I'm going to remove it. I'm just going to trace around the inside of my window, remove my frame, and then this way we can take the image of our airplane. I'm going to ink it up with my VersaFine Onyx Black ink, and we're going to stamp it. This way I have the tail in my background. Okay, I'm kind of going to line it up, figure out where my plane's going to go. Once I have my plane figured out, position, I'm going to go ahead and use my pencil and add a little dot. And then this way I know where to stamp the end of my string on my airplane here. When I did this, I don't know if you guys are realizing what I'm doing wrong, but I'm stamping it directly on my card base, and the propeller is overhanging off the edge, so when I put my frame on, you can see it. So I would suggest maybe using scratch paper for the first part of the plane to prevent that from happening. But thank goodness for sand erasers. So I'm just going to grab my sand eraser and take that little propeller off. Only a little bit was peeking out, so I think I can get away with it. And that worked out good. Now we're going to add our frame. Making sure it's centered, and then we're going to flip over our airplane, add foam adhesive behind there, and then we're going to place this. If you wanted to color in the airplane that's on the inside of the window, you could, but I think it's not going to be that noticeable since it's recessed on my card. Went ahead and added my banner with foam adhesive, and then we're going to stamp another sentiment on the inside of that frame. I chose the sentiment that says "Sending You Love," and I'm using the same ink we stamped our airplane with, the VersaFine Onyx Black ink. We'll just stamp that, and that is good to go. All we have to do is add our little clouds. I added foam adhesive behind there, and we're just going to do a little tucking, and some are going to go inside the frame area and some will go outside, but I love the little detail on these little clouds. They're so cute. Okay, I thought we'd bring in some love, so I stamped and colored in 3 hearts using the same colors I used for my airplane, and then we're going to add a little shine and dimension to them with my glossy accents. And I did go over the window, the seating part of the airplane, that clear dome that's over there, with my glossy accents also. That was card number 1. Now we're going to move on to card number 2, which is really easy, guys, but I think it's kind of fun. I'm taking the same wood grain pattern paper and I'm adhering it to the left side of my card. Basically, we're going to make a landscape style card. I just taped my card front and then added my paper, and then I'm going to trim the excess off. I'm going to use the leftover piece for our next card. So we're just doing a little trimming. Okay. Add my bone folder to reinforce that score line there. Now we're going to take both the rainbows. I thought we'd go one right side up, one upside down. So I'm adding foam adhesive behind our first rainbow and clouds, and I'm going to place this just above my wood grain. Kind of reminded me of a little fence, you know, like the sunshine or the rainbow is peeking out above a fence. That's what I liked about that. I did add my rainbow partially overlapping on the left side and the right side, and we're going to trim that off in a little bit. I didn't need a foam adhesive on this side of my balloon, so I just removed it and added my tape runner behind it. We're basically covering up the seam of our wood grain panel there. Went ahead and added my sentiment. It says you make today better. And a little bit was overhanging, so I need to reinforce that with a couple of foam squares. Since our sentiment and our larger rainbow and clouds are popped up, we need two. And I did add my sunshine behind there too. Okay, next we're going to take the little embellishment kind of a image in the stamp set. It's almost like a diamond shape. I'm going to use my VersaFine Onyx Black ink, and we're going to stamp that on little kitty's tail. This is her name's Angel, and she's my little Allie's cat, and not an alley cat. Our daughter's name is Allie, so she because I can't talk today, but she likes to pace my desk. I guess she doesn't get along with the other cats. She thinks she's Queen Bee, so she's looking out the window, just pacing the desk. But anyhow, I went ahead and stamped my little diamond a few times, and I'm going to add glossy accents to my sunshine and also to the little black embellishments we just added, which they really made them vibrant. Kind of looked like little gems that were popped up there. But that finished, and I did add a little bit of shimmer with my aqua shimmer pen to the rainbow. So that finishes that card. Now we're going to move along to card number 3. This is a portrait style card. I trimmed down the leftover piece to fit right inside of my card base, leaving me a little bit of a border. And then I also used one of my stitched rectangle dies and cut out a panel here that's going to leave me a little border of my wood grain panel. We're going to stamp the sentiment that says there's always a rainbow at the end of every rain. I thought that was so sweet. We had went on a cruise last year, and we were on a cruise ship, and there was a rainbow in the middle of the ocean. It blew me away. I think I posted it on my Facebook page or Instagram, but that was just magical to me. I never knew rainbows could be in the middle of nowhere. But I'm going to go ahead. So it's a pretty sentiment. I stamped it with white embossing powder on black cardstock, and then I heat set that. So I did also block it off so it's ready to go. I'm going to add the rest of my embellishments here that we colored in and stamped. 3 snails in the bottom, and then we're going to take all of the little flowers and kind of create a little pattern with them. First the snails and then our flowers, just lining them up, just making sure that I don't have 2 pinks next to each other. That's why I'm switching them up a little bit, kind of spreading out that color. I did end up coloring a green one, and then we'll add our last one, which are yellow. I'm going to go ahead and kind of tuck my sentiment underneath the petals of the flowers, and then I'm going to go ahead and add my rainbow that we colored in here. Okay, I'm going to add a couple more clouds, but I didn't want to use the fancy ones. I'm just going to use the cloud that is in the Art Icon Fancy Die set. They're separate. I'm going to die cut it out and show you what it looks like. I don't think I showed you what this does, but here you can see when you die cut out this rainbow, you can use the positive or the negative. I'm just going to go ahead and use the clouds. So I die cut it out 3 times. We're going to add foam adhesive behind there. Now I added a little bit of gray shading to my clouds using my C1 markers, and when I added these clouds, they kind of got lost with my white background. So I'm going to bring in my C1 and my C4 marker, and also with my blender pen, we're going to add a little shading to the clouds that we just added with foam adhesive. Just along the edge, giving it a little bit of a silver lining. Once we have this done, we'll just blend it out with our colorless blender, and I think that is good to go. We're going to add adhesive behind here and go ahead and tape this down to the center of our wood grain panel, and then I think that looks fabulous. I was going to add gems to the center of the flowers, but I thought we'll bring in a little more white, just using my is it Simply White Nuvo drops here, and then I'm going to also bring in a little sparkle with my White Blizzard, adding a little sparkle to the shells and to the rainbow, and I think that looks very whimsical and fun. So these are the 3 cards that I made today. We're going to bring them in, and I had my White Blizzard, it's like an iridescent glitter glue. We're going to add a little to the clouds here. Since I had it out, might as well add some sparkle. We'll add it to the clouds, and then we're also going to add it to the rainbow over on our You Make Today Better. Just a little bit. But those are my projects, guys. I want to thank you so much for joining me. I had so much fun. This is the My Monthly Hero Kit for May 2020. I know June's is out already, so I'll be creating with that next month. Have a fabulous day. We will see you again real soon. Bye-bye.